Hello everybody, I'm Diane and welcome to my channel, Diane's Sewing Room. Now today I thought I'd share with you this wonderful selection of fabrics that I've been gifted. Now I don't normally like the word haul. I've used the word haul today because it actually is, but I don't hoard fabrics. I don't tend to buy a lot of fabrics and then just hoard them. It's not something I ever do. I buy what I'm going to use and I usually use it up pretty quickly. I like it, say recently I've had a couple of fabrics that I've had a little while, but they're only like a metre, and I bought them because they were reduced and places were closing down. That's usually it. And other than fabrics that I have for work, I don't have loads stacked up unless they're little bits that are left over. So as you saw recently, I've stored a lot of my small pieces from work projects in my boxes. So they're all pieces that are not really any more than a metre long. They're usually like half a metre or 3/4. Not usually get enough to get something out of, put it that way. But I won't get rid of them because they'll be used for projects, bags, and other little bits and pieces. So I certainly won't be throwing them away. But as for big bits, I don't usually have a lot. At the moment, I've got quite a selection of fabrics, so I'm going to show this to you now. I'm just going to put my book down. We're going to have a little look at that in a minute. So I had a message on Facebook last week, which was really exciting because it was from somebody who I used to know. Her children were at the same school as my children when they were there, and I haven't seen her for years, but she knows that I sew, so it's really lovely of her to think of me. And unfortunately, a while ago, her mum had passed and she was sorting out her house recently, and her mum was a dressmaker and she had loads and loads of fabric. And she tried to take it to the charity shops, but they said, we won't get anything for it, we'll just weigh it in, it just gets weighed in as scrap, it's such a waste. She didn't want it wasted. She wanted it to go to a good home because her mum loves sewing so much. And she thought of me, so she got in touch and asked if I would like it. How lovely is that? So I have now taken on a load of fabric, having cleared out a lot of my bits and bobs, but these are full pieces. I mean, there are a lot of them are 2 metre pieces. Enough to make a garment with, so that's wonderful. And a lot of it is really good. It's all really good fabric, and I just don't know where I'm going to begin. So I have a friend who sews, so she's probably going to be watching this video. So Michelle, you're going to be getting some fabric too if you want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give some of that to my sewing friend as well if she wants to take some of it, and any that I won't use I will find a good home for it as well. So I'm going to show you some of it today. I think I'm going to probably have to break this video into 2 parts because there is a bag that I've just emptied and I've put some of it on the table here and some of it is over there, smaller pieces of bags, and also I've got a box down there which I've not even started getting out yet. I did have a look through it the other day when it arrived. So I'm going to show you this now. A few of my plans that I have for a couple of the bits already, and there's a few bits that have got labels on saying how much and what it is. And some of it I don't know what fabric it is, so you might be able to help me with some of that in the comments. So let's get started. So first of all, I put the ones on the top which I thought would be really nice for working on my Gertie book because they've got that vintagey feel to them. So how about this one? So this is lovely. This is it's really fine, so it's going to need underlining or a camisole under it if I make something from that. So that's not 2 metres, I'd say it's probably 1.5 metres, but it has had something made out of it, so I'd have to be a bit creative with the placement on that. Can you see? It's got a sort of chocolate brown spot in it. So that's really pretty. So that is the first one that I've earmarked for something, and the next one is another spotty one, and it's this one. And this has, I think that's a navy spot in it, and it's a beautiful sort of dusty pink colour. So those two, with them having this nice spot in them, I thought, as I've just worked on one of the blouses from the Gertie book, I made the keyhole blouse. With the spots, they've got that really lovely vintage feel to them. I thought maybe next I will make the Peter Pan blouse. And I'm not sure if I will wear this very much, but, I don't know, but then I could always gift it to somebody if I don't think I will, is the bow tie one. So I thought both of those would go really well with this sort of vintage blouse look. So maybe the bow tie blouse, but definitely the Peter Pan blouse for one of them. I've lost it now. Where's it gone? There it is. So I've made this type of collar before and I do like it. It looks really pretty. And all of these blouses do have the buttons down the back as well. So for those two, I'm thinking those spots are going to look really nice. So that's the first two of those. Now the next one, I'm not sure what this is. It's got a label on it saying that there is 2 yards here. It is really shiny. I don't know if you can see, it's got a sheen to it. It's probably not something I would go for, but it is really pretty. And it's a paisley, so it's sort of autumn colours. Now it's really sheer. It doesn't crease. So I'm wondering. Duchess satin, I'm not sure. Any ideas, anybody? So the lady has put on what she bought there, but I'm not sure what the fabric is. It's a really pretty design. Can you see there on camera? It's got that sheen to it. So that's a really lovely big piece. And then this one, I really like this one. Now this feels like a microfiber. So again, this has got that lovely peachy soft feel to it. And it's got sort of a navy flower design in it. I'm going to hold it close and hopefully it won't go out of focus. Can you see that? So it's sort of light brown with a navy flower in it. And again, we've got a couple of metres there. A couple of metres, enough to make a dress for me out of that one. This one is a really bold design and it's a John Caldor. So again, we've got 2 metres. And this again has got a spot in. Now, I've been thinking, because I've also got my Breaking the Pattern book that I bought last year, and I only got around to making one thing out of that, or with work and other things that I've been making over the past months. And also because I've not got any pieces earmarked for anything in there, I'm thinking I might use that for one of the patterns in there that I've been wanting to try out. So sorry, the colour's going really funny, isn't it, when I hold them up? So I think that's really beautiful. That's got beige, a sort of deep red spot and a black background. I'm going to bring that close to the camera. I'm going to move that back a bit because it's reflecting. So let's see. Can you see that design? How pretty is that? So it's John Caldor fabric and this one is a crepe. So I do know what that one is. So it's crepe fabric. And I think my plan is to use my Breaking the Pattern book for that one. So I'll pop that down there. Now, this one is a skirting fabric. So it's quite heavy. It's a wintry fabric. A big chunk has been cut out of it, so it's already been used. But there is, I'd say, less than a metre, but enough for maybe a mini if I was going to make a skirt out of that. Now, I don't know whether these... I do wear red, so I would wear a red top with it. Whether I would be making something out of that one or not, I'm not sure. I do like it, it's very pretty. Just thought of whether it would get worn. But then sometimes you make things when you're not sure about the fabric and then you make them and you love them and you wear them more than anything. And other times you buy some fabric that you absolutely think is beautiful and the pattern, you make it up and it's not what you thought it was going to be. So sometimes it works like that, doesn't it? So that's that one. Now, this is really nice shirting fabric. Look at those colours. Now, my husband did like this when I got it out of the bag. There's not enough to make a long sleeve shirt. I would like to make him more shirts. I've made him one recently, a pink check one, and I made him a grey one just for Christmas, which he loves. But he doesn't like wearing short sleeves. So it would make a short sleeve shirt, so that's a shame. So I'm thinking possibly if I did a 3/4 with the turn up and the button and loop, that would sort of give us best of both worlds, because he will wear them turned up, his shirt sleeves. So if it came to here, he would wear that. So if I can eke it out, I am going to make my husband another check shirt out of this, but with a 3/4 sleeve. So when I do that, I will share it. Okay, so That's one to think of. Also this sort of reminds me of, it's gingham, obviously. It's a beautiful big piece. But it does remind me of school uniforms because I've worked in schools. I always think of, especially this small gingham check, of girls' school uniform dresses. And some schools do have this green. So that's probably why I'm thinking of that. Again, there is plenty here, and that would easily make my husband a long sleeve shirt, but I know he won't wear this, he won't wear green. So I'll have to have a think on that. But it is really pretty and it's a really big piece. So that's wonderful. Now this piece is another gorgeous design. Now I love the colours. I'm not sure what this is again. I think it might be, I think it's a viscose chalet. I think so. And it's got a bit of a lovely sheen to it. It's a lilac with a beautiful pink flower. Now again, this has got that vintagey feel to it. So a blouse or a little top in that. Possibly along those vintage lines from my Gertie book. Or if anybody's got any suggestions. There's not a great amount. It's definitely only going to have to be a small sleeveless blouse, that one. Because it's not a huge piece and I wouldn't want to waste it, but that is really pretty, that one. So next up we have this piece. So this is, I would think, another, it's mixed fibres definitely. Is it a polycotton? No, it's not polycotton. I'm not entirely sure on this one. It's another big piece, another 2 metre piece. I don't know if you can see, but it is navy. Has these gorgeous flowers. It's quite a modern flower, that. I like that design. Ooh. I do like that design. It's really pretty. And as I said, it's a really big piece. I'm going to pull this blind down because we're getting dazzled by the sun. It's such a shame I've got lovely daylight coming in and I'm having to block it out with the blind. A really big piece, so easily make a dress, that one. It's gorgeous. Anybody got any thoughts? Let me know. Now this one, again, it's either a Duchess satin or a microfiber. They sound like they're very different, don't they? But she did buy good quality fabrics, this lady. They are all really good quality. The other box has got lots of sort of suiting and coat fabrics and things like that, and they're all just lovely quality. So I think it's got a microfiber feel to it. It's got that peach finish on the top. It doesn't crease. Now I wasn't sure about this when I got it out, but I do like red and red shades. They do tend to be my sort of colours. And it's one of those, I think made up it's probably going to look gorgeous. So there's a couple of metres of that one. It's got a gorgeous drape and it won't crease, so that'd be ideal really. Well, it will crease a little though, where it's been stored, where it's been folded, but it's been folded for a long time. I mean, she's obviously collected these fabrics over quite some time, this lady, and one of them did have a label on it, and we tried to look for it to see what it was, and I think it's from such a long time ago that I think the place was didn't exist anymore. So, any ideas on this one? So we've got peachy feel, like a microfiber has peachy feel. It's really drapey. It's really silky. So that's really pretty. So that's the first bunch from down there. I'll just go through these few and then I'm going to stop for now because we'll be here all day and I'm sure you don't want to hear about them all in one go. So this one has got made in Italy on it, and I believe this one's a crepe. Yes, this one's a crepe. So another navy. Nice leaf design on that one. And then this feels sort of like a crepe as well. But I think this would be really good. This is a cream. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I think this would be really good for if you're underlining things, especially if you're making a dress that's quite sheer. and you want to make sort of a long camisole for underneath or a long slip to go under if you're wearing sheer dresses in the summertime. Often you need something underneath, so I think that would be really good for that. So that's that one. And then this one, again, it's like a shirting fabric and it's navy. Now, if my husband would wear navy as a shirt, again, I would make him a shirt out of this. We're going to have to discuss this and see, because they're such lovely shirting fabrics. Here it seems such a shame, and I do enjoy making them. So this is a navy, and that's a shirting. Now this is another one which I am not sure of the composition of this fabric. Now there's no label on it, it's a really big piece. It feels warm but thin. So I feel like I should know this, but I don't. So I'm going to hold it up so that you can see. It's definitely a wintry fabric. It's got this black and red sort of paisley design on it. And it's got sort of a woolly feel, but at the same time it is thin. Any ideas, anybody, on that one? So it's sort of a rough woolly feel to it, slight woolly feel, but it feels quite sort of soft and fine. It's not a thick, heavy fabric. So it's a big piece of that one. Then we have various, and now these are all in the box down there, but this was in this bag. Sort of suiting and skirt fabric. So this one is in a grey. Then we have a selection of lining fabrics. These will come in really handy. So when I'm not making clothes, I do like to make bags. I haven't done any for a while. I had a run of making quite a few at once, and then I've sort of stopped, and I haven't made one for a good few months now. So I'll have to get back into that. There's a lot of lining fabrics there. I don't think that one is lining fabric. No, that one isn't. The grey one is more of... No, the grey one is heavier. That is more like a... has a satin feel to it, that one. It's quite heavy. But the others are lining fabrics. So I've got quite a few of those there. This is a navy blue, sort of like a twill. So there's a big piece of this, a really big piece of this. Now this one is so heavy. Now I've used this before. Now I know I won't be using this. So I'm going to gift this for somebody will want it, but I don't know if you get the idea, but it's one of those that's really bouncy. So can you see the bounce in that? It's really heavy and it's got such a lot of stretch. So it's a stretch fabric, lots of stretch. I did make myself some trousers in this when I was pregnant with one of my sons, and they were the comfiest trousers ever. I made some wide-legged, high elasticated waist that came over my bump trousers. And I wore them so much. And I remember, because I recognised this when I got it out of the box, they were made in this fabric. So this is great if you need lots of stretch and if you're making maternity wear or stretchy lounge wear, but I won't be using that. So I'm going to have to find a home for that. It's like quite a heavy piece, or I could post it out to somebody, but that would have to be UK only, because I'd say there's easily 2 metres there, because the postage would be so much to send it abroad. So that's that one. We have some more cream. This is sort of a crepe here, a large piece. Again, either lightweight blouse or lining something with camis and sort of slips for under things, for under dresses or underlining things. And then this one here, again, it's sort of like a twill. It's enough to make a small skirt, sort of a minty green. If that's not used in clothing, I would use that on bags. It's got quite a nice stable feel to it. I think the colour's coming up a little brighter on the screen. It's more green than turquoise. It's showing sort of turquoise on the screen. So that's the first lot for now. I'm going to do the box fabrics in another video, so I'll do a part 2 because otherwise it's going to take too long. There are some more on my chest of drawers over there that were not full-size pieces, smaller pieces I'm going to use embellishments and linings and so on bags, and a couple of bits of wadding for used inside cushions or quilts and things, just a couple of small pieces like offcuts, so I've put those over there. I need to decide where I'm going to store it all now, because I did tidy up all my odd bits that I've got left over into boxes, and I showed that in my sewing room video. But now I've got all this fabric again, which is brilliant. It's just wondering where to put it. What I've been doing for the last few days while I've been working in here is carrying the box out onto the landing and the back, working in here, doing my sewing and filming, and then bringing them back in at the end of the day, which is not ideal. So now that I've got all those out of the bag, I am going to find a home for them, and then I'll do the box in a video another day. Let me know what you think. If any have caught your eye and you've thought, oh, that would look good in whatever. If you've thought of a pattern of a dress or a skirt or anything you want to recommend, please let me know. That would be fabulous. I did think the other day, I never mention what I'm wearing usually, and all my clothes are handmade, so if you ever want to know what I'm wearing, if something takes your eye, please ask. And what I'm wearing today this is a polycotton dress, and I've got it on the board behind me. I'll just get that down. Ooh. So it's this one. It's a simple sew dress. I've made it a few times because I love it. It's such a lovely shape, and it's got this lovely neck at the front here. It's got a lovely shape to it. It's got a zip up the back. As I said, this one is a polycotton. It's brilliant. It doesn't crease. You get it out of the washing machine and it's still like this. It's lined, just the bodice, not the skirt, and it has pockets at the side, which are always handy. And I did make a lovely peach version of this with the sleeves in the summer, which is a lovely dress, and I would have put it in this video, but it's packed away in my box of summer dresses. So I'll maybe get that out another day and show it you. But that's this one, the Sienna dress by Simple Sew, and that's what I'm wearing right now. So I hope you enjoyed that and enjoyed having a look through. Aren't I lucky being gifted all this fabric? I do appreciate how lucky I am that she thought of me and decided to bring it to me. So like I said, I will be sharing and distributing some of this with my sewing friends. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I always love to read your comments, so please do comment below. And I'll be back soon with another video for you. Bye for now.